All right, we're live. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching the replay, there should be a copy of the recipe down below. I have prepped all the ingredients to make this super fast and easy to follow along. Today, we are making a Thai En Papillote Halibut with infused vegetables and cauliflower rice. Now, I know that sounds fancy, but trust me, it's super fast and easy. And as a bonus, it is healthy too. So we are going to start with the green curry. And I'm going to be completely honest, I have never made green curry before, so this should be interesting. I found this recipe on Minimalist Baker, and I picked this one because the ingredients were things that you can just find in your grocery store. You make it in the blender. It supposedly takes 10 minutes, so we're going to find out. And the fish you actually cook in parchment paper. That's why it's called en papillote. It's a fancy French term for in paper. So this is why this is so super fast and easy to make for dinner. So we are going to start with, I have, I hope you can see this. I have ground coriander, cumin, and black pepper, and I am just going to toast this just for a couple of minutes. And this helps bring out the oils and the spice. Now this stuff is completely optional, but I think this is really going to help flavor the curry. So we just kind of want to put this in
just like a dry pan.
A dry pan, correct.
And what's the, how much of each is it?
So it's a half a teaspoon of coriander, a teaspoon of cumin, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And the recipe for this is down below. So it has all of the measurements of all of these ingredients in the recipe. So while this is toasting, again, this is only going to take like 1 to 2 minutes. I'm just going to put it off to the side very carefully.
Oh, wow. You got like your own burner that's portable. That's really cool.
Yeah. So with our food processor, we are going to put in all of our green curry ingredients. So I'm going to start with our green pepper here. This is like a medium-sized green pepper that I roughly chopped. And then we have our serrano chilies. And I did take out the seeds and some of the ribs, as you can see here. These are 3 serrano chilies. We have 6 green onion stalks that I just chopped. You can see why they call us a green curry, right? I have 5 garlic cloves. I just left these whole, but I peeled them. Lemongrass. How cool is this? I found this in the herb section. It came in like those plastic containers. These are 2 stalks just chopped up. And then I have, oops, I missed the chili. I have fresh turmeric and fresh ginger. And this is a tablespoon of each. Now, if you can't find fresh turmeric, you can always use a teaspoon of fresh grounded turmeric. So that's the conversion with that, but that's also in the recipe. I have some lime juice and some lime zest in here. And then I have 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And then my spices here, I can smell them. Just gonna give them another minute. And when you start to smell them, when they get really fragrant and start changing a little bit of color, and I'll show you in the camera, then you know that they're ready to go. So I think this is looking good. So you can see there, the pan is kind of smoking a little bit. I'm going to let this cool a little bit before I add it to the food processor. And I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt to this. And I'm just using Himalayan. And then 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. And then I'll add the spices and then I'll mute so you don't hear the whirling. All right, and the spice. And this smells really, really good. Just toasting the spices really brings up that flavor. There you go.
Wow. How long did it take you to chop everything and just from the beginning?
I'd say about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, not that long. All right, here we go. Let me mute.
Can you use a Vitamix or does it have to be a food processor? I have a
Like broccoli soup.
I have a question.
Yeah, go
Do you-
ahead.
Do I need to get a food processor or can I use my Vitamix?
You can use your Vitamix. I was gonna try my Vitamix, but the recipe said to use a blender with a narrow base, and I was afraid that this wouldn't process since I've never made this before.
Oh, okay.
So I think you can actually,
Okay.
because it's working in the food processor. So we'll give it another whirl. I smell the chilies.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to smell it so bad.
No, I wish you guys were here. Be
Oh,
like,
I know. Where do you live?
the suburbs of Chicago.
Oh,
North-
wow.
northwest.
Okay.
I'm gonna try this.
Cool.
Has it been miserably hot there?
Wow, that's really, really good.
Oh my gosh. It looks
It's spicy.
Yeah.
Woo.
It
Wasn't
can't be
expecting it to be that spicy.
hotter than what it is here. It's like 112 today.
Oh my gosh. No, it's pretty hot today, but not 112. Okay, I think this is looking good.
That looks
We are going to
really-
use this for our fish. So I'm going to put this off to the side. And I have our halibut fillets. I have our parchment paper that we are going to wrap them in. So this recipe makes 2 fillets. And I've already pat these dry. And I was going to wear gloves for this part, so I wouldn't have to wash my hands. Too late. And I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper. And then we will make our little curry mix. So in a bowl, we are going to add, now this is half a cup of coconut milk, and then I threw the lemon zest in there. And this is the zest of 2 limes.
So is that like the canned coconut milk or the kind in a carton?
It's canned coconut milk. Good question. Full fat, baby, full fat.
Going for it.
Full fat, baby. And then we are going to add 1/4 of a cup of cilantro. And 4 teaspoons of our curry. And I lost my, see what happens? Our good looking, spicy green curry sauce.
So teaspoon or tablespoon?
4 teaspoons.
Okay, 2 teaspoons.
And this is a 1/2 teaspoon because I lost my.
I thought you put it over on the other side, on your right side.
Oh, I did. I'm covering it with my parchment paper. Thank you, Bridget.
Yeah, no
You're a
problem.
wonderful assistant.
I'm like, I remember those.
So 2, 3.
Is that like when you're done with it, do you have leftover?
Yes, and I'm gonna show, when the fish is cooking, I'm gonna show you what I do with it.
Cool. Like that
Because you can,
that
you
go
can
to
add
waste.
this to dressings, different sauces, curries. So I'll show you what I do when I freeze sauces. All right, so we are going to whisk this together. And I just have like a little variety of vegetables here that I'm gonna put with the fish. I have red cabbage, broccoli, mushrooms, but you can add any combination that you want. I also have some green onions. You could add red onions to this, you know, cauliflower, carrots, if you're more in a summer season. The possibilities are limitless. Fennel, you can add fennel to this. You know, I love my fennel.
Yes. But I've now created a love for that too. So.
Yes, I was
Thank
happy to
you.
hear that. You're talking to people in the grocery store?
Yeah, so funny.
Oh, cool.
It was just like this was the look on her face. What is it?
What is that?
Yeah.
All right, so let me get my glove on. I'm gonna add the veggies to the bottom of this parchment paper first. Got a little carried away with the fish first. So I'm gonna do a little cabbage on the bottom. Some broccoli and some mushrooms. So this is what I like about this recipe is kind of everything's done in one little parchment paper. And you could do this with chicken too and other types of fish. It doesn't have to be halibut. You could use cod, haddock if you wanted to. And I'm gonna actually spoon the sauce on the veggies. I'm gonna salt and pepper it first. We want to season as we go.
Does it need to be a white fish? Or like could it,
I think you could do a salmon with this.
okay. Or like tuna or just anything, doesn't matter. Any fish.
Tuna might be a little tricky because tuna is very easy to overcook. If you like more of a well-done tuna, then yes. But if you
Okay.
really like that more on the rare, medium rare side, I would stick to just like a quick pan sear because usually it's like 2 minutes per side. This is
Got
going to
it.
be a little bit trickier with tuna.
Okay.
This almost looks like cream spinach.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes. So I'm just gonna treat this almost like a salad dressing. My fish on top. Oh, I forgot my green onions. Now we're getting fancy.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna spoon this over the fish. Yum, oh my God. It looks so good.
That's so good.
And actually, this made a lot. Look how much I have left.
Yeah.
Do this for 4. I would almost serve this sauce on the side once the fish is done.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the trick. So we put the fish in the middle, we fold it over. Just make it into like a little packet. What we want to do is just start folding from the top. And then just, you guys see that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I just keep folding it. So it makes like a tight seal. And so this, all of this is gonna like steam in this packet. So that's why you kind of want to make it. The veggies are gonna steam, the fish is gonna steam. And I just put it on the sheet pan. Like so.
Wow.
And I'll do the other one. Put more in the middle. And the coconut milk, that oil, that's gonna help create that steam as well in this packet. Then I bring it to the top. Start in the middle.
And this is gonna cook in the oven?
Yes. And I forgot to mention, I did start my oven at 400.
Is it, I wonder, I was just thinking if, is it possible to cook it in the air fryer, I wonder, or is it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you can put parchment paper in the air fryer.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I was just curious.
We'll have to ask
I'm looking
Chef
at my
Google.
air fryer. What is that? I'm sorry.
We'll have to ask Chef Google.
Oh, that's.
Dr. Google, Chef Google,
Chef Google is awesome.
right? That and GPS. All right, so that's our other packet. Oh,
Very beautiful, very beautiful.
thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna put that in the oven.
Okay.
And that is going to bake for about 18 minutes. I'm gonna set a timer. I always set a timer, especially with 2 little kids running around the house. All right, next up we have our cauliflower rice. And this came straight from the freezer. This is 2 bags, 2 12-ounce bags that I have on here. I put it in the oven at 400 for about 5 minutes just to kind of thaw it out. I just dumped it on the sheet pan. I didn't do anything to it. It was in like big clumps of cauliflower. I threw it in the oven for about 5 minutes. It helps it thaw. And once it's thawed, then I just take my spatula and I just even it out.
What temperature do you put it on and when you're gonna put
400.
400?
I do the fish and the cauliflower at 400. I
Okay.
just make it into like a single layer like this. I'll throw it back in the oven for about 10 minutes. Let it like cook and steam because you want cauliflower to steam so it creates a really nice flavor. It doesn't get bitter. And then after 10 minutes, I'll bring it out and spread it out a little bit thinner so it gets nice and crisp and golden brown.
That's easy.
I know, it's so easy. I love it. So I do a little bit of
Initially,
oil.
it's 5 minutes, right?
What's that?
Initially, it's 5 minutes.
Initially, it's 5 minutes if it's coming straight from your freezer. If you've
Gotcha.
already thawed it out, you can totally skip the 5 minutes and you
Okay.
just go straight to the 10. But normally, it's for me, it's kind of like last minute. I want to make cauliflower rice because my kids usually will eat regular rice. My husband will eat regular rice. So for me, it's like I want to make cauliflower rice and it's frozen. So this is what I do. So I'm going to do a little bit of garlic powder. Garlic powder is like my BFF in the kitchen. I use it all the time because I just hate peeling and chopping garlic, but I will. But for something like this, I just use garlic powder. And I just love coriander as well.
I bought that after I think you
Peppers.
recommended it, and I went and bought it.
Oh,
I
good.
use it all the time now. It's awesome.
Yes, I love it on shrimp too. If you do roasted shrimp in the oven, I just
Okay.
sprinkle a little bit. I do the garlic powder, salt, pepper, and coriander, and it's delicious. Little salt. And I'm so bad I don't measure.
Oh,
Pepper. So I'm just gonna put this back in the oven for about 10 minutes. And our
What
fish,
kind of oil did you use?
avocado oil.
Okay.
I like avocado oil because it has a high smoking point,
Mhm,
which means it doesn't oxidize.
mhm.
Because if you're ingesting oxidized oils, it can cause inflammation in your body,
Mhm.
which is why I like cooking with either avocado oil or coconut oil,
Mhm.
because they do have a high smoking point. All right, so this is going in the oven. All right, so we got all this amazing green curry. What the heck are we gonna do with it? So this is what I do.
oh
I
wow.
have silicone muffin tin,
Okay.
and I usually put like a dinner plate underneath it, like so. And let me rinse my spatula off. And I use silicone because I don't have to use muffin tins. It doesn't stick. I'll throw this in the freezer and it pops right out.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's amazing. So
How much have you ever measured what amount is in that muffin? Like is it like a quarter of a cup? A half?
if I eyeball it, it looks about a quarter of a cup. Let me see.
That's cool. Just to kind of like gauge how many you would pop
Or it
out.
might be a third of a cup actually.
Oh wow.
And what
that's
do you do
cool.
with it?
With what?
With it when it's after it's frozen? Like when you pull it out, what do you do with it?
So I pop it out and then I put it in Ziploc bags. And then you could use this to make this recipe again. You can actually use this on steak, on chicken, salad dressing. And I use these muffin tins when I'm making like fresh pesto, or if I make like a chicken gravy or turkey gravy or au jus. If I make beef in the slow cooker and I have all this au jus left over, I'll put it in these muffin tins. So when I'm making a really quick, fast dinner and I don't have time to make a sauce, I just pop it out of the Ziploc bag and warm it up in a little pan and it's ready to go.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so funny. It is a fourth of a cup. Did you watch me? I filled up the cup and I just, as I was talking, poured it in there. So yeah, it is a fourth of a cup.
So it's about a fourth of a cup. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
This curry smells amazing.
Looks so good.
Yes.
My
I-
stomach is actually growling at this moment.
I'm
Thank you for
actually
doing
impressed
this.
how spicy it is. I really didn't, I thought maybe I should keep some of the seeds in. So anyway, that's one of the tricks that I do.
Very nice.
And I just pop that in the freezer.
Yeah, I gotta get those tins. Man, I'm so excited. I'm hoping you guys put all the things that you recommend for your excellence in cooking on your resource page. Like we can just go click and start buying instead of search scrolling.
Oh, I will. I will.
Okay.
I'll do that for you.
That's so-
So I just wanted to, I don't know, have you ever seen fresh turmeric?
No, I was gonna ask you about that. Where do you buy that?
I found it at my grocery store.
Okay.
Isn't it so gnarly? It looks like a caterpillar or
Yeah.
wow. So I use a chef knife to get rid of the skin, but you could also use a peeler if you wanted to just get rid of it.
Okay.
But I just used my chef knife. And this is how I do my ginger too. I don't get fancy, I just cut it off. But this, I do recommend wearing gloves because this will stain your fingers like yellow.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't get too crazy getting all the skin off, but it smells.
How long does that last?
It really doesn't last long, but again, you can throw it in your freezer. And that's another tip for ginger as well. You can throw it in your freezer. Ginger can be hard to cut once it's frozen. You bring it out and try to cut it. So I do recommend kind of slicing it up before you put it in the freezer. If you
Yeah,
have
I
to,
learned that the hard way.
yeah, I know. I've literally sat there with a knife like, come on, I want ginger.
And then it's spongy when it thaws.
Yes, and that's why it's better for like smoothies or something like the green curry where you're just whirling it up. You don't want to use it fresh, obviously. So, but it's easy when you have it in a blender or in a food processor because you don't have to sit there and chop it. You can just roughly chop it, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to show you is if you didn't want to do cauliflower rice, I love doing squash. And I know squash is a little bit higher in carbs. So it's something that we kind of eat less of in more of a deep spring, mild spring. But this is such a great alternative for noodles as well. And I just learned this tip a couple of months ago. Normally I would cut the squash like this, like down in half, cut it in half, roast it, but you actually want to cut the spaghetti squash in half because the noodles run this way.
Oh.
And when you
Oh,
cut
wow.
it in half, you're actually shortening the noodles, which I had no idea. So squash can be really intimidating because it's obviously huge and hard, and to get a knife through there is kind of difficult. So what I do is I just kind of like tap it a little bit and just kind of score it before I cut through it. So I don't have to wrestle with it and cut through the whole thing. And if you wanted to, you could roast this whole thing whole in the oven. It just won't have as much flavor. So you see how easy that was just to cut through it. And then to put it on your sheet pan, you want to do it cut side down. So you don't even have to worry about this like rolling around. So you just get a spoon in there, scoop out the seeds, olive oil or avocado oil, salt and pepper, put it on your sheet pan for about 40 minutes, poke it with a fork or knife. If it pokes through easily, then it's done. You scoop it out and it's just delicious noodles. So that was like a little tip I wanted to share too.
So do you cook it and then do the noodles, or do you do the noodles and then?
So you cook it first. Here, let me show you. Good question. So there's seeds in here that you want to take out.
Okay. And how you
So
cook that again? It's 400 and
I cook it in 400. I tend to cook a lot of my stuff at 400.
okay. And that's just until it's soft, or is it like, do you know how long about?
It's about 40 minutes. Usually around the 35-minute mark, I'll check it. I'll just poke it with a fork, and if it pokes really easily with a knife or a fork, then it's done.
Okay.
And then I take it out, I let it cool. So you can see it's hollowed out, and these are the noodles around here. So
Oh.
when it cooks, it's gonna be super tender, and you can literally just take a spoon and you can hold it with a kitchen towel if it's too hot. Just scoop out the noodles and it all just comes out. It's awesome. And I'll make this with, obviously you can make it with the curry tonight, or I do like meatballs, spaghetti meatballs with this. I love
Wow.
that. Yeah, and it's great because my husband eats it too, but usually there's a lot left over because it's this big, huge squash, so you can have it the next day for lunch. So that's what I love using spaghetti squash.
That's so great.
Yeah. Let me check on our rice. So starting to brown, as you can see. I'm going to put my wood cutting board down so I can spread this out for you. So what are some new foods that you have been making since doing Rock the Good Life?
I think
This thing online that was you just put it in, you put cucumbers and like other vegetables in a jar, and you just put apple cider vinegar in it and just spices, and you just let it sit, and then instead of just having plain vegetables, you have them, they're kind of marinated in apple cider vinegar and whatever you put in them. Like I put a hot pepper and some garlic this past time, so it's really good.
Wow,
It's really good.
that's awesome. So do you
Yeah.
just put cucumber or do you put something else?
I put cucumber and celery,
Okay,
so I guess you could put anything, like any kind of vegetables in there, but
yeah,
yeah, it's great because then
awesome.
it's just in your refrigerator and it marinates overnight, and then you can take it with
Okay.
you.
Oh, so you put it in your fridge. Okay.
So I put it in like a canning jar with a lid on it, and then
I bet that's really, I wonder if you kept it on your counter, if that would create like a probiotic environment where it would
oh, maybe.
be probiotic, like a pickling almost.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
that's
Awesome. How about you, Bridget? What things have you been venturing into?
well, I bought turkey. I never really buy turkey, so I bought ground turkey instead of beef. I just wanted to try that. And I've just been playing like crazy with all the spices. So I got like masala, cumin, I don't know, you name it. Like it's in there, coriander, and I just started like going for it with the Himalayan salt, and so I made my meat like really spicy, and then I did that, and then I've been just like roasting tons of vegetables. I did the other day, I did like Brussels sprouts, mushrooms, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. And I just like, I put them in a bowl, I cut them all up, and then I get a big bowl and I mix the avocado oil in there. And then I do this similar spice if I want. So I try to do one in one spice, and then I'll take some out. And then if I want a different spice, so I have them all separated, and then roast them. And then I can, and then on top of that, I've been putting in, like I always do, like avocado on the top, kind of stuff. And I did do something like the cucumber where I made like a mayonnaise vinegar dressing, and then just playing with spices. So I had like the keto mayonnaise and apple cider vinegar, and then I tried red wine vinegar, and just kind of playing around with that. I made some coconut, just regular milk, not like the fat milk, the unsweetened, but there's like literally no carbs in it, but it's vanilla in it.
Okay.
And then I put in a little bit more of vanilla, and I just tried a little bit of Swerve just to see, because I was like, I just wanted to see. I didn't do a lot. It was like a teaspoon, and I made like a pudding.
Nice.
Yeah, just for like a little bit of something that was sweet.
Yeah.
And like it felt like a treat, you know?
Mhm.
So I wanted to do that. And I've really been just playing mostly with the Alka-Jizer. I just have the best time every day making that. It's like super fun. Oh, the other thing I did was the faux coffee, the Cambo or whatever that is,
Oh, yeah.
Campomo or whatever it is. And I do that with the mushroom on top with a little cinnamon.
Oh, the mushroom, like the mushroom coffee.
Yes. So I kind of mix them together, and then I throw some cinnamon on top of that, and then I pour the water through it. And then I throw some MCT oil, just a teeny bit, just a little bit, into the blender with vanilla and cinnamon. And then I pour the coffee in and blend it. So it's like, for me, I love it. It's like a little latte.
Mhm.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's like, I have so much fun in the morning.
And you blend it? Like,
Yeah,
with
I blend it so
Oh.
it's creamy. So it turns the MCT oil.
do you have one of those like blending little sticks? Like for
No,
the
I just throw it all in the blender.
Oh,
Throw it in the Vitamix. I want to get an emulsifier because that would be the best way to do it. That's like one of those you stick in.
I have
And
one.
I do, yeah. I'm like, ooh, you got to have the tools, man. You got to have the tools.
you do. I
I,
want to do a gadget video because you need
that
to-
would be awesome.
I do.
You have every gadget known to man, huh?
I do. I got to come up with my list of gadgets that I love. I need another spatula. I keep losing this spatula.
Well,
All right,
thank you
so
for
this-
doing this.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
thank you so much.
I love doing this. So I'm going to spread this a little bit thinner. Let it get a little bit more brown. The fish timer just went off, so I'm going to pull that out and check the temperature on that. We're looking for 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mhm.
I can already tell these are done.
How can you tell?
Look at that. Look how
Wow,
pretty
they like,
got.
oh my gosh, they're like little balloons. How cute.
I know, right?
Like,
Like calzones.
What's that?
Yeah.
They look like calzones.
They do.
They totally do.
So I can already tell they're done just because the parchment paper is a little bit brown. It's been 18 minutes, but I will check the temperature on them anyway. But when you open these up, just be super careful because that steam is really going to puff out of these. And in fact, it might even steam my phone camera here.
I wonder if you put a
I
knife.
just like to
poke
take a
hole.
pair of scissors.
Yeah.
And just very gently, just kind of poke. Oh,
Ah, there you go.
you can see the steam coming out.
Oh my gosh, I'm having such envy right now. Look at that. That looks so good.
So normally, like even in a restaurant, you're going to serve the paper and everything plates because you got all the juices in here from the fish.
Oh wow, that looks awesome.
Now, doesn't that look amazing? And you can just tell looking by this that the fish is no longer opaque. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
definitely white. So I'm not even gonna take a temperature on it, but
Chef Elsa, we're just gonna call you Chef Elsa.
Chefy.
There you go.
Chefy. So I'm gonna pull the cauliflower out just so I can plate this for you. We're gonna get fancy. Normally I would let the cauliflower rice get a little bit more brown, but for timing purposes.
How does it smell?
What's that?
How does it smell? I'm like, see the steam and I'm like,
Oh
I
my
just-
God, it smells divine.
I keep going like this. I keep going, maybe I can smell it. It's not happening.
It smells divine. So I have like a little spatula here.
Oh, wow.
And then let me show you how I do this. So I am going to take the parchment paper because there's some really good juices in there that I don't want to lose. This is the showstopper right here.
Oh, wow. Yummy.
All right. And then we'll serve it with a couple of limes, some green onion.
That looks amazing.
We got some of that leftover sauce that I was talking about. So I'll just
Mhm. Wow.
get some on the rice. And then a little fresh cilantro.
Mm.
And there you have it.
Well, that's awesome. I got to see you take a bite. Or do you not eat it? I want to see your reaction.
I gotta do the Food Network, like. When they're like,
One bite. I
"Ah."
know, right? Or not. There's no pressure.
Or I could spit it out in the sink. Well, we're gonna find out.
Okay. Good.
That's
Really
really,
good.
really good.
Okay, good. Well,
Wow.
I wasn't trying to get you to force you to eat. I was just like, I wanted to see like, okay, you can't really fake it.
It's the coconut. The coconut is so good. And I didn't even do a squeeze of lime.
Okay, sorry, Mike.
Yeah, very good.
All right, I'm gonna skip out. Enjoy your meal. Thank you
Oh,
so
so
Thank
much.
you for joining us, Gina.
Thank you. It was awesome. I'm sorry my mother just arrived wherever she was going. So apologize.
No worries,
Bye.
ladies.
Good
I'm so
night.
glad you were able to join me. I hope you make this recipe, and if you do, post a picture. I would love to see it.
Will do.
When I get back, I'm making this for sure.
All
This is
right.
so
Sounds
delicious.
good. Safe travels.
Thank you. You have a great night, honey. Thank you.
You as well. Take care. Bye.
Bye.